What's going on, guys? Fix it here. And this today is a little help video along with a response video. I made a video a while back called Find and Fix Lag. And it seems a bunch of people are having some issues. So I'm making today's video to give you some advice along with answer some comments. So let's do it. First and foremost, first few questions are, all of them have packet loss when they run ping plotter. Okay, now maybe I didn't explain well enough in the first video that when you have packet loss across the board starting at the first one, that usually means a local network problem. Now, if you're like me and you have a separate modem and router, you can check that locally by doing something like this. First, I'm going to check my router. My connection from my computer to my router. Is there a problem there? It's easy to check. Real easy. Ping 192.168.1.1. Well, actually, we'll do ping -t 192.168.1.1. You might have a router IP of 192.168.0.1. I can't tell you what it is, but it's usually 0.1 or 1.1. So what I would do here is I'm just checking my computer to my router. How's the connection? Am I getting any packet loss? Am I getting any spikes in the response time? Right now, the connection point between my computer and my router is 1 millisecond. I have no packet loss. If I did have packet loss, you'd see a huge spike in the milliseconds response time. Or it would say, that you're not getting the data. So that's one thing you can check. Next, I can actually check my computer to my modem. So it'll make the jump through the router and then jump to the modem. Am I getting packet loss there? So same thing. Ping -t 192.168. With most cable modems, it's 100.1. That's usually the local area network IP address to most cable modems. If you're running an all-in-one unit, you don't have to do this. Just a simple check from to the router that's all you need to do. If you get no packet loss there, you have no packet loss local. But checking my modem. There you go. So each jump has about a millisecond internally in my network. So you see it averages out about 2 milliseconds. It's got a little spike there at 4, but that could also happen if someone else in the house is usually doing something on the network, downloading something. You'll get a small itty bitty spike. But those would be the two primary methods to check your local internal network before it jumps out onto the internet. So for the first two questions, all of them have packet loss. All of them have packet loss. Try this. If this shows you have packet loss, then you have a local network issue. It doesn't matter if all of them show packet loss. First and foremost, before you can blame anybody, you have to blame yourself. At that point, it's your fault. Something is wrong on your setup. It may not be the cable company or the ISP. It's as long as you're getting in the first few jumps, it's you. Until that changes, it's you. Now, if you can make the first two jumps clean and no packet loss, all smooth, and then it has packet loss, then it's your ISP, and then you need to deal with that. Now, if you're running Wi-Fi, I would still do this test, okay? And if you have packet loss, what I would do is I would run a wire, even move the computer to where the modem is temporarily, just to check it. Run a wire from your modem router to your computer and check it then. If the packet loss goes away, your Wi-Fi network is not up to snuff. You need to think about doing some upgrades or running a wire. I'm always a fan of running wires. Just me. I think it's just overall better results, hands down. But let's see if we have any more questions. All right, we have a comment from Jujis. The 9th hop isn't responding. The 9th hop is not your problem. That's something way out there in the internet that'll have to get fixed. You can't control that. That's outside of your control. It will eventually get resolved on its own. I don't have packet loss, but still have lag spikes from Darky 55 Destroyer. Not having packet loss, but still having lag spikes. Now, that could be a few things. It could be something related to your computer, but there's also a small possibility, and I have seen it. It's rare, where a router's memory fills up, and it starts to cause issues, but not necessarily create packet loss. That's a hard one to diagnose over a video, especially. But I wouldn't look into that yet. What I would do first and foremost is I would play whatever you're playing, whatever game you're playing, I'd play it in a window just for a little while and leave Task Manager running on screen to the side. Like play in a little box and watch Task Manager. You most likely have a bottleneck. Either your CPU's bottlenecking, your memory's bottlenecking, your network could, but not likely, or your GPU's bottlenecking. Something is probably overused, like maybe you don't have enough memory and the system has to pause to swap assets out of memory. I've seen that. So if you notice that your memory fills up and you have like nothing left, you need more memory. If your CPU spikes to the top, you might need an upgrade. And if your GPU does the same, it usually can handle it. You'll suffer little frame jumps, but you should be okay there. There's probably something relating to the memory or CPU, but there is a possibility of even hard drive. Just watch for anything that's hitting its max. That's probably your problem. I have packet loss on the 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Third jump is usually the jump between your modem and the ISP. That's typically an ISP problem. It's annoying, but you're going to have to deal with it through them. There's not much you can do to fix it. I have packet loss in 70% in the first line and 60 in the second. Again, what I said at the beginning of the video, to check your local stuff first. If you have packet loss in the first and second jump, you need to start switching out equipment. Start with the cheapest stuff first. Network wires, cheapest stuff. If you're going Wi-Fi, run a network wire. See if that makes a difference. After that, network card, hub, router, modem. And then after that, you pretty much replaced everything. Nick, everyone except the top one has packet loss. Well, it's good that your top one doesn't have packet loss. Now, if you're running a modem router combination, then that's ISP. However, if you're running a separate modem and router, that usually means the connection between your router and modem has a problem. So either your modem is bad or the Ethernet wire that connects the modem and router is bad. Dan Jiffy, when my brother or family watches YouTube, I get 300 to 600 ping and my character is glitching, lagging back. I guess he means bad. Is there a solution? I am Ethernet cable connection. You can ask me more questions about my connection and stuff. My normal ping is about 30 to 60. You don't have enough bandwidth. As someone commented, yeah, you don't have enough bandwidth. You can go into your router, if most routers, and you might have something called QoS, quality of service, where you can favorite the type of stuff you do above the type of stuff they do, which means your game takes priority for the connection. Their videos take secondary priority. That's about the best you can do without actually upgrading your bandwidth or your connection in general. Fahad, GG, I'm not using Google servers. Do I search what I use? It doesn't matter. You don't have to ping to Google specifically, like on Ping Plotter here. You can go to Amazon.com. As long as it's a very reliable, quick site, you can ping from it. It doesn't have to be Google. It just has to be a quick, reliable site that, generally speaking, you're fairly certain that they're not going to be lagging on their servers. So there you go. Ellis Mart. I need to know, does everyone get packet loss at 0.5 ms and I don't get any at 1 millisecond, but lots at 0.5? It's now at 25.7, his packet loss. Yeah, I said it in the first video, you should ping at 1 millisecond. And even though I don't always get packet loss at 0.5, I sometimes do, but I don't actually get any measurable packet loss. Let me explain more. When I do a ping test like this from Ping Plotter, I get no packet loss. And you see the graph below? If I was getting packet loss, real measurable packet loss, I would see a red line here that showed that. Now, let me show you what happens when I switch to 0.5. Looks good, right? No packet loss. But once in a while, I'll get packet loss. There you go, right there. And that's not real packet loss. That pretty much means I'm DDoSing my own equipment. You see this right here? This is my router. I'm DDoSing it right now. That's what's happening. I'm pinging too fast. But even still, if you look below at the graph, there's no red lines here. That's because I'm not getting any noticeable packet loss. I'm just getting a delayed response in the pings because the router's not responding to me fast enough at the speed I'm pinging at. But I'm not getting loss in data getting to where it has to go. Just the pings aren't responding as fast as they should. But if I put it back on 1, it'll start dropping. So whenever you do a ping plotter test, do it at 1. If you can't handle 1, you definitely have a problem. But if you can't do it at 0.5 or you have some issues at 0.5, it's okay. That's normal. A lot of people get that. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your network. But if you have a problem at 1 second, you do have a problem. Jesus Corona. Nice name. So I tried the command test and I'm constantly getting 40 to 50 millisecond. When I try ping plotter, I'm getting packet loss. Am I doing something wrong? Help. Again, I don't know too much about your ping plotter result. Is it overall the first and second line? I can't tell you. Now, 40 to 50 millisecond, that sounds like you're on wireless. Maybe I'm wrong. But that millisecond range sounds like you're doing it through a wireless connection. If I'm right about that, my advice to you would be to run a wire temporarily and see if that makes a difference. If it does, then you might need to consider upgrading to a mesh Wi-Fi or just a better Wi-Fi router altogether. But I'm a fan of mesh Wi-Fi. If you don't know what mesh Wi-Fi is, it's like 3 routers that get spread out through your house that communicate with each other and use each other to find the best path back to the modem. It's a little pricey, but it actually does extend the range of Wi-Fi and create a nice grid of Wi-Fi signal. But if you can't afford that, maybe a better router might help. Or running a wire. Running a wire is cheap. Dr. Loadsome Monkey. Of course this prick doesn't have any problems. Yeah, I've had problems. Trust me, man. The only reason I don't have problems when I make the videos is because I spend so much damn time making sure that my stuff is running. If I spot a problem at any point in time, that's all I can think about. I obsess over it. It will drive me crazy until it's fixed. So I don't have problems because I put the time in to diagnose when I do. So, you know, try doing the same. I don't know. MOTD killer. Dude, I literally have packet loss in every section. Again, if it's every section and you're running 1 millisecond, no lower than that, check your local stuff first. Using the guide I put at the beginning of this video. But as another comment, no, the problem persists. I think that's because of the quarantine. Everybody's using internet and everything is congested. Now, this does happen. This is a very real possibility right now for some of the people that are having recent problems over the past 2 months. The quarantine has made a lot of people stay home. And a lot of people are watching Netflix, doing a lot more stuff on their computer at times they normally wouldn't be doing it. And that does strain ISP networks that didn't build and prepare for the potential, the potential idea that everybody's going to use it at the same time. They may upgrade or they may just wait it out and then your internet will return to normal. I can't tell you. The best you can do is complain to your ISP to make it more expensive for them to ignore the problem than if they actually fixed it. That's all you can do. Okay, Anthony Nunez. What does it mean when my ping is averaging 8 to 15 milliseconds? I don't get it. Everyone in the house is complaining about the internet being slow. This is an interesting one. Because ping doesn't always represent packet loss. I've had the problems in the past where I had a good ping, but I had packet loss. That does happen. What that basically means is I ask a server, hey, can you hear me? The server responds, yes. I ask a server again, can you hear me? It doesn't respond. So my computer has to resend, hey, can you hear me? And then it gets a response. That means that first request didn't happen. So it creates this feeling of slow internet. I would monitor through Ping Plotter for packet loss or outright loss of response. You might have packet loss. Or you could just need more bandwidth. It's possible too. Dylan McKinnon. I had packet loss in my first one. Unplugged the router and turned it back on and fixed it. Sounds to me like your router's memory is basically exhausted. The memory in your router is probably an older router, I'm guessing, and the memory is filling up. It might have a memory leak inside the router code. Do that for as long as you can. Unplug the router, restart it, but know eventually you're going to probably have to replace that router. Arabic scribble. I don't know what to call it. I mean, I can't read that. I'm sorry, but pretty sure it's Arabic though. No packet loss shown, but when I play a video game, it shows my packet loss is 50 to 70. I'm going to take a guess and say you don't have the bandwidth to support doing much on that connection. That's just a guess. If you have no packet loss when you're not doing something, but when you do something, it has packet loss, it's either you don't have the bandwidth or a piece of equipment is overloaded. That's the best thing I can tell you. Maybe an old router. Maybe the router's too old. It can't even handle what you're doing to it. You could try replacing stuff, but you might not have enough bandwidth. If you do have enough bandwidth, like you have 10, 20 megabit at least, or some hot, super high number or whatever, then yeah, you might want to consider replacing that router. Friedrich Nagel. What if my ping is just high? The connection between 1 and 2 has high ping. If you're in an all-in-one router, that represents something with your ISP. If you do not have an all-in-one router and you have a separate router and modem, that represents your router to your modem. Change the network wire and consider that either the router or modem might have an issue. All right, guys. Well, I think I've answered the bulk of questions. A lot of the questions are repeating. So hopefully some people actually take my advice and do some of the tests I did here at the beginning to specifically check their internal network first. And if you are having internal network problems, trust me, you'd rather have those than stuff with the ISP because the ISP is terrible to deal with. At least on your internal network, you can run a new wire or replace a router. Trust me, that's better. But yeah, guys, just start cheap, replace the cheapest things first, wire, maybe even a network card, a hub. You can get all of these things very cheap for testing. You don't need big fancy ones. You can just buy just enough to do a test. You can buy a $10 hub, a $20 router, a $10 cable. You can do this stuff for not that much money. And you know what? It's good to have some parts in your PC tool set should you ever need it again to test something else later. But anyway, guys, I'm Fixit. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully some of you managed to fix your network problems. And as always, if you like this video and you want more like it, do me a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. And feel free, throw in more comments, more questions. This is just a follow-up video to the first video to help answer a few questions and to, give a little update. All right, guys. Have a good one.